让我们一起为运动员热情加油，为精彩赛事尽情喝彩。
Today, we have 4 competitions. The competition will start at 5:30 p.m.
今天共有4场比赛，即将进行的比赛是美国对阵法国，比赛将于17点30分正式开始。
运动无限气象万千，现场的观众朋友们，欢迎来到2025年第12届世锦运动会的比赛现场。比赛的场馆是成都体育学院大会校区铁地场，欢迎各位收看今天团队非常的比赛，由美国队对阵法国队。现在全场的观众们，让我们听到你们的尖叫声。
The World Games 2025 in Chengdu. Welcome back to us here at the Chengdu Sports University for the second of our fantastic semi-finals here today. It's defending champions USA, and they're up against France. If you missed us earlier on today, well, it was Canada imperious in their semi-final showdown against Germany, 13-9. A big crowd in here at Chengdu Sports Facility tonight to enjoy what is going to be, I am sure, an enthralling game of Ultimate. And none better than to have Robin Fennick alongside me to offer insights and knowledge to our coverage here tonight. Robin, a very good evening to you. What a game we have in prospect.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be up here. The vantage point from the booth is incredible. We get to see the entire field, and what a monumental game we have. You know, this game has some history coming into it. I would be remiss if I didn't tell the viewers at home here that these two teams kind of have a history. You know, 2023 French Ultimate, I think we took a really big turning point. Not only was this France mixed team the European Ultimate champions with a 15-7 win over Italy, they were also the Beach Ultimate World Champions, taking down the United States in the semifinals. In fact, France has more players today with experience beating the US in a semifinals than they did with World Games experience coming into this tournament. The 2023 Team France beach team featured Stéphane Lachey, Camille Blanc, Lison Bourneau, Salome Roulet, Elliot Bonnet, Sasha Płatzakolski, Leo Stanguinek, and they were playing against the likes of Carolyn Finney, Cammie Groom, Marquez Brownlee, Kayla Helton, and in one of the cleanest games of mixed ultimate I have ever seen. France, you know, forced 2 turnovers on the United States offense and converted on both of them in a 13-11 just instant classic where Elliot Bonnet threw a 3-goal and had a 3-goal, 6-assist masterpiece. I can't wait to see if he's locked in and in the zone for this matchup. And honestly, I think that Marquez Brownlee in that game had such a big defensive game. He had the only block for the United States, which led to their only break opportunity in the entire game. Like I said, I think that France Ultimate generally sees that 2023 season as like the big turning point for them to be able to compete on the international stage and take down the favorites
Let's introduce the team favourites then to you. This is Helton here. Alongside of her is Cami Groom. Grant Lindsley is alongside her. Caroline Finney, who's going to play such an important role here this afternoon, is in at 11. Rafi Hayes. Alongside him. Anna Thompson as well, instrumental. Chris Kosher, all big names these. Dawn Coulton is there. And the two Ing brothers, of course, Henry, the first of them that we're going to see here. Claire Trope, you can't put a US team on the field without her. And Claire Chastain as well, going to play a big part here this afternoon. Michael Ing is next to be introduced to this enthusiastic crowd. And Brownlee, number 82, as Robin was saying, such a huge impact player, Robin.
Yeah, and you know, the last game against China, Marquez Brownlee had a few uncharacteristic turnovers in the reset space. You know, I'm expecting that he is going to be so locked in and so dialed. It is a little bit gusty today. Again, at the field level, it's not as consistently windy, but yeah, making those reset passes a little bit more difficult.
Here's the French team then, being introduced. Simone Ruel, Gail Anselin, the talisman and captain, huge. Lachey alongside him. Bevignon is there. Elliot Bonnet, the number 11. Camille Blanc. Lucien Bonnet is there. Sokolski, Olivier, Ralou, Valet as well, Stenuak, France, Team France, Rob Layer's out there. And Zoe Forget as well, the 19-year-old. A very talented team, as you say, Robert. And you know these guys. You've played with them. You've coached in France as well.
Right, and I think like you can kind of compare the age of the teams that are here today. You know, the United States is one of the older teams with a lot of, you know, international experience, but don't let the youth of France, you know, fool you. In the last 2 years, every single one of these players, except for two, has medaled in an international world championship for Team France, most of them with gold medals already in their pockets. I'm so impressed by the mental resilience shown by this France team. They've invested so much time and energy to become more mentally resilient through the use of a mental strength coach. And again, looking at the United States, you know, they are a very savvy veteran team. Every single one of these players has represented the United States at either the junior, U24, or senior levels. So this is going to be a really interesting battle. I'm very excited to be up here with you today, Brendan.
Fantastic. So there is Team USA. It is full of talent, full of experience. And watch their defensive team as well. It is one of the best in the world, if not, it is the best in the world. There's their impeccable record as well, undefeated on their way through here to this semi-final. France with it all to do here. They, of course, not quite as clean on their way through, but certainly as talented as well. Watch out for number 7, Gay Anselin. He is the talisman of this team, was all over the park last night in that match against Colombia. And they're getting set. You can see the only loss there to Canada. It was narrow, but they came out and did the job on the Colombians and also the Australians. We're ready for a start. First pool, USA. France will come at them with their offensive team. Let's see how it goes. Waiting for them in the final will be a very accomplished Canadian team. France getting set. The American defense pushing hard already. Very hard indeed. France are going to have to break the shackles here early to have anything to do going forward. Lachey trying to make some moves around the corner. Not at the moment. Płotkowski there, making some moves inside. Bonnet makes a move. France just trying to progress it, get up over the advantage line here. Bonnet going to present. Comes back in, really being tagged very heavily there by the US team. Bonnet again, 1-2s on the inside. Bevignon trying to make some space. Over into the center field they come. Here's France. Lachey gets on the end of that one. Hands it off. France just beginning to get into the red zone here. Moves being made. Not quite possible at this stage. Lachey goes deep. Bonnet with some options. Inside the zone. Goes cross field for a moment. Settling again. Midfield options to the French. That's nice. In front of Lachey is good. And around the corner they go. Bonnet in with the first. Beautiful work there. Patient, Robin.
Yeah, Tifenna Chi was able to body out Ng from getting a block and able to just catch the disc, turn upfield, and immediately punish that poach attempt. You can see right here, she uses her body to shield Ng from making a play, turns and finds Elliot Bonnet completely unguarded for an easy goal. I'm very excited to see the French offensive set able to hit their resets. That was kind of the big question mark. Would they be able to stay patient in the end zone set? And that was a just textbook end zone offense. Great patience, great tempo, very good confidence, breaking the mark to facilitate movement. I would say some really great adjustments from last night's match against Colombia.
So some good work then by the French. A settler for them. So now if you're new to Ultimate, Team USA, defense, the best in the business, will invite, well, the defense will come and have a crack at this French side. France scored, so up they come. Brownlee with the disc. Here they come. The offensive side from Team USA onto Rafi Hayes. Looking abroad. All sorts of options at the moment. Chastain is there. Lindsley as well. Offering to go down the line. Doesn't at the moment. Comes back infield. USA offense setting up here against the French defense. Brownlee an option down the line. Doesn't go there. Rafi Hayes provides an option inside. Chastain is there as well. Ng is on the end of that one. Up the field they go. Here come the US. They're moving. They're getting over the advantage line. Back to Ng. Chastain in the middle provides an option. Goes there. Team USA beginning to saunter into the red zone. Back to Ng. Options up front. Lindsley is there as well. Goes around the corner. This is nice by the States. On the inside is just wide, but I think Rafi Hayes has just scooped that up. Incredible fortitude there. Chastain around the corner, and again another great get by Rafi Hayes, but they're brought to a halt, Robin.
There's a pick as Camille Blanc was trying to cover Anna Thompson. Disc will come back in.
So Rafi Hayes then, a wonderful save earlier on, and that's a nice layout. Team USA, Anna Thompson, the ever reliable, gets the job done.
You can see Camille Blanc kind of hanging her head there after missing a layout block opportunity. Anna Thompson cuts and gets Camille Blanc on her heels. Camille Blanc tries to take the inside route. Anna Thompson making that last minute adjustment to catch the low disc from Rafi Hayes. And again, the big question is going to be, can the French team keep their composure throughout this entire game? They are a more mentally resilient French team than we saw at the last World Games cycle. And so if they're able to just realize, you know, we're going to punch, the U.S. is going to punch back, it's going to be like a long game, and you can't get too overexcited about any particular play.
Here's Michael Ng then, and believe me, Robin knows her stuff. She's played over there in France, used to commute in and play club rugby. So if anybody's got insights onto France, It's Robin Fennig alongside us here. That goes long. So France going to come back and have a crack. Let's have a look at this French O side. Benvigné.
And Paul Benvigné is one of those players who has not had a lot of elite mixed experience before making this World Games roster. He's been featured more on the men's side of French Ultimate, and playing with Chalk internationally, has a lot of high-level experience playing against these teams, but his first really big mixed tournament here for Team France.
Well, because they went long, they had the opportunity of starting from the brick 20 meters out from their goal line. Here come the French, Signac at the moment. And that is an error that Benvigné doesn't want, and I tell you what, Team USA is going to turn the tables really quickly here. They're coming at them. Freechild over the top, and thank you very much indeed. And Helton there on the receiving end, and that is an unfortunate error by the French, Robin.
And I think we've seen this in the last few games against their opponents when France is facing rapidly increasing defensive pressure. They've really struggled in the reset space. Dylan Freechild, one of the best reset defenders in the world, challenging Paul Benvigné from getting open. He turns that block into immediate offensive, momentum into the end zone. Kayla Helton and Grant Lindsley offering differing wide cuts to that break side. Dylan Freechild kind of shimmies, gets his mark to bite, exposing that break side and having two receivers waiting to pull in the score.
Incredible stuff. Okay, so the USA up a break already. It's 2-1 to them. So they will invite the French offense to come down and have a crack. France picking up the disc. USD streaming out. France trying to open up something down the sides. Not going to work at the moment. Coming cross field. France looking for options. Inside they go. What? Skolowski. Crossfield, nice. US defense stepping back a little bit, giving the French some open space here. Ralou, Podskoloski again, really the brick, and around the corner and into the goal area goes Benvigné. So that is a fantastic score, a good reply by the French.
And Sasha Podsakolski showing why he was the 2023 Mixed European Player of the Year. He's so versatile, comes into the backfield, allowing Paul Benvigné to push downfield, putting the disc out to space in a place that Marquez Brownlee doesn't really have a play at the disc. He was working really hard, lunging, and I love that trust between the French team, putting the disc out to Benvigné after he had a mistake last point. Again, showcasing that they are mentally resilient and they're here for the long battle this game.
Yeah, it's a long way to the end here. Les Bleus, disc in hand. So now, Team USA will have a crack at them. Little Bornet sends the pool long into this lovely evening warm air here in Chengdu. USA, down the line, some steady hands in ink, and this is looking good as well. Wonderful by Cammy Groom. Cammy Groom giving up a few centimeters as well, Robin, and she snatches that out of the air.
And Zoe Froger played that disc very effectively. Right as that pull went up, the wind began to swirl, and so that was a very nicely weighted deep shot by Henry Ng. I thought at first maybe it popped up a bit too high. Zoe Froger has a few, centimeters on the disc on her matchup. Cammy Groom able to snatch it after the disc gets deflected by Froger. Let's see it again. You can see the disc gets deflected up off of Froger's fingertips. Cammy Groom with the concentration to secure the grab.
So Froger, the 19-year-old, learning a lot here, I would suggest. It's been a meteoric rise for her and her career through French Ultimate. Okay, so Team USA, it's 3 over the French side 2. Let's see whether Les Bleu can come back and have a crack again here. They know they've got their hands full. They can't make any mistakes early. Bevinier over the top, looking for options. Counters on, got to move quick. So across field they come. Stenuek is there and available. Make a few meters. Nice work down the sideline. Bonnet, options, goes short.
No offline! No offline! No offline!
Roulet. Nice. Bonnet again and down around. And once again in front of Brownlee. They come away. I think the Americans will have to think about that. That's twice, almost in successive points, that they've been able to goal down that left side. And Brownlee again just left a little stranded, Robin.
Well, and you can hear the United States defenders on the sideline yelling, "No up line, no up line." They're really trying to force France to have to swing the disc off of the sideline. Elliot Bonnet kind of does a jump cut to get Michael Ng on the back of his heels. And as soon as Elliot Bonnet catches the disc, he finds his grip so quickly so he can very quickly snap that disc out to space for Benvenien before Marquez Brownlee can reorient his hips and make a play at the disc. That's really important if the U.S. wants to pressure this French defense, like make them throw more passes. They need to force them to attack the break side.
Okay, so France then, not going away. They're in it here with Team USA. The defending champs. They're serving notice that they're going to have to work hard to put away this European side. Finney then, captain, and again some interesting discussion here with Olivier. Finney goes long. Looking for some options underneath it. Oh, that's a fantastic steal. Brilliant by the French. Anselin has it. France survive and they turn it around. Now, can they motor it up the field? Can they get an advantage here? 33, they're coming forward. Wojciechowski goes long. It's a battle royal. And the man with the red leggings. Lindsley just short. Wonders whether there's some interference here. The French are protesting. Bevinier thought that he was interfered with and pushed out of the disc. Thinking, Robin.
Yep. Yeah, and it's really hard to tell if the call has been resolved or not. There was definitely some extracurricular activities going on in that matchup. I do think that Grant Lindsley did beat Benvenien to the space. You can see how he's in there, but again, Grant Lindsley should be able to get that positioning without the push off there. He had his body in the correct decision, or the correct position.
It was the little shove just before that incident, actually.
Correct.
As Lindsley just came around the corner,
Before
he had his hand in the smaller Benvenier's smaller of his back.
You're going to check.
And Benvenier did retract the call. But I think it's also good for Benvenien to say, hey, that's a little bit too much contact. I don't like that push. You can make that play without the push, while still, you know, letting that turnover stand, because I do think that Grant Lindsley was in position for that block.
Okay, so after that then, Team USA have it. They're going long and they're going to release the big boy right underneath it, as he has all competition. When the going gets tough, this guy gets going. I tell you what, Ng there.
And, you know, that first block by Stenguenek, that's the exact type of turnover that France wants to try to bait the U.S. to throw. In transition, you don't want Henry Ng to be going deep, especially, you know, Royale's a very great defender, but Ng's got the size advantage. You can see he's able to body him out of position, and Royale, because he's trying to go around to regain his position, is unable to really put pressure on Ng in the air.
So that'll do the opening stanza here. Had it all. France not going away. US probably with a little bit of a momentum going their way, Robin. They've gone to a drinks break. They've got 4 minutes. What are they doing? What are they thinking?
Again, France just needs to remind each other that they're going to get blocks, they're going to generate those opportunities, and they just need to focus on maximizing them. You know, that when that disc went up in the deep space to Benvenien, Zoe Froger was open with an undercut after kind of juking out her defender at the back of the stack. And instead, the French offense elects to go to a contested matchup where Benvenien didn't necessarily have Grant Lindsley beat in the deep space. Offensively, the U.S. needs to be aware where Leo Stenguenek is. He and Elliot Bonet are going to combine for a lot of help blocks in the deep space. They need to focus on finding them and throwing to the folks who are open because of those help poaches in the deep space.
Talking about open, the French have exploited on this near stadium side a couple of opportunities on the wide wing. They got just behind Brownlee on a couple of occasions. Team USA worried about that?
You know, I think that it's okay at this stage in the game for a defender like Brownlee to take a few gambles with defensive positioning. Every opportunity on defense is an opportunity to collect data on your matchup. If you're able to consistently get the same matchup, you know all of their moves. You know when they're attacking for space. You know when they're setting up a fake cut. You start to learn about their throwing habits, where their release points are. So early in the game, it's important to take a few more aggressive gambles to see how your opponent is going to take advantage of that. And again, it is especially important when you're guarding a thrower to push them downfield. Honestly, the United States is really focusing on trying to take Benvenien out of the backfield. He has had a really effective tournament, offering so many resets and driving the French offensive attack from the backfield. So pushing him downfield, you want the French offense to feel comfortable taking shots in that matchup, because if there's any error on the throw, Marquez is going to get the block.
So the French side then, as we've seen all tournament, they rally around, just listening in, see if we can pick up anything here.
And France right now is
rapid, I think was the word there. L'équipe rapide.
I think it's because they need to get onto the line quickly, so there's a certain amount of time. That 4 minutes is a hard time, and so they have to be on the line ready to receive the pull by the end of that hydration break.
Okay, so at the end of the first drinks break, it is USA, the defending champs, 4. It is France 3. USA have got a break early. France still hanging in, and if you're just joining us for the first time, it's Canada who got over the top of Germany earlier on, waiting the winner of this in tomorrow's final here at the World Games 2025 in Chengdu. Defending champs up against France. So the French or offensive team.
Yeah, that would be great.
Setting clocks. Beautiful evening here in Chengdu. Rain showers earlier. Beautiful, heavy, humid, warm evening. Lovely dappled light coming down through and across this magnificent Chengdu Sports Stadium. Here come the French. Les Bleus on the attack. They've had a water break. They've considered their options. Here they come. This man, crucial at the back, Benvenien. See what he can do. Needs some support here. Going through the middle. That's nice. Just solid. France just consolidating at the moment. Roulet at the back. Round the corner. Bonnet as well. Watch the slippage. Slightly damp. Out the back. Underneath it. Fantastic. France come away exactly as they wanted, and Benvenien, who set it all up, is on the end of that one, Robin.
Wow, Bonnet choosing to test the Benvenien-Henry Ing matchup. That is a bold decision. You can see as he winds up, he puts a lot of snap on that disc so that it'll have more angle as it comes down. It's faster, it's not floaty, so Ing can't get in there to make the play. The disc did not travel as far to the side of the field, I think, as Bonnet wanted. And Benvenien made a really great adjustment as the disc was in the air so that he could get two hands on that very difficult to catch disc. It was only in a place that he could make a play on it. Henry Ing, if he wanted to try to make a play, probably would have caused a lot of contact. It would have been maybe unsafe. So again, thought that was a very bold shot.
Les Bleus here trying to rise to the occasion, and they're calling on the crowd to get behind this French team. It's a strategy that's worked all week. France playing with great passion, and incredible to see that that goal was taken over the top of one of the Ing brothers there. Here's one of the stars of Team USA. Trope is out there at the moment. They're going down the wing. France in a very difficult position here as Cammy Groom steps around the corner and accepts another offering. It's Team USA, and Groom is looking good at the moment.
They don't call her Zoom Zoom Cammy Groom for nothing in the United States. You can see this high tempo offensive attack up the break sideline. Zoe Froger tries to close the gap as best she can, but the buffer is too large. The margin's too large for Froger to make up that ground. She was just centimeters from getting a hand on that disc. I'm really excited to keep watching this matchup develop throughout this game.
But for the second time, the French player, Forget, unable to cover that pass.
Well, for that particular possession, that was the break side of the field, so that's not Zoe Froger's responsibility. It was actually the mark on Chris Kocher who needed to cap that throw and prevent the around. Zoe Froger's on the opposite side of Cammy Groom, looking to work together, and so that was kind of a blown coverage by Chris Kocher's mark.
So here come the French then. Down the field they come. Wojciechowski trying to find some options on the inside. Turns. USD right up in their faces. Bonnet has to go inside. Down the field they come, and they didn't want that. And you can see the exasperation there on Stenjagrek's faces. That bobble affected a turnover. So USD in the faces of the French. Here they come. Team USA off. Fairchild Nice just over the top. Spectacular, and again in reply, if you can do it, so can I. Team USA, Freechild is looking good. The glue in the middle at the moment. Here's Helton. Freechild again, getting involved very heavily, taking a lot of responsibility. Helton is there, goes long, and boom, there it is, looking good for Henry Ing again. It's another goal, USA.
And on that turnover, I really think what pressured Leo Stanguenec's ability to make that catch was Elliot Bonnet started to clear into the stack as the disc was up in the air, and Michael Ing was able to get his arm in the passing lane. Although Ing didn't touch the disc, it definitely put pressure on Stanguenec and disrupted his vision on the disc. He kind of stabbed at it, and the timing was off. And again, if you're France, you want to have Elliot Bonnet stay where he is and not bring Michael Ing into that lane. And again, another short field turn is converted quickly and easily by the United States.
So USA have converted their opportunities here very early. They lead 6-4, and we're in the dying moments of the first half here, because the next point's going to send them into a little bit of a break. It's USA, they're up the break and they lead 6-4. Here comes Team USA. France are going to get hold of this, and they want to get hold of it, and they want to convert this opportunity. They need to. They need to stay in touch with this Team USA, otherwise it's going to be a very long evening for them indeed. Benyevet comes up here to Bonnet. He's been everywhere at the moment, the man in the cap. Roulet across, looking for options. Hasn't got much at the moment. The USD right up in their faces. Ing really pressing very hard at the moment. France trying to get loose, and they're going very long. It's a big play. It's speculative. The US have got it covered, and they knock it down to the ground. This defensive team from the United States is so powerful. They absolutely smite everyone. Here come the US. Inside options going. Ing is available, but for a moment there's a small halt in play, and Ing, you can see him really pumped. He's roaring out there at the moment. Boy, oh boy, he's smoking hot. Yeah,
that was I think that the huck just hung up too high. you know, Sasha Płaciszewski, Elliot Bonet, both great receivers, but the fact that it hung long enough for them to both go up against their defenders, it made, you know, a one-on-one matchup in the deep space on a hanging disc, it's easier for your receiver to get in position. Stangunek had steps, and I think that was his intended receiver, but as the disc hung and the United States defender looked to kind of wolf pack around Stangunek, Sasha Płaciszewski tries so hard to get a hand on the disc, but if you're France, you need to be willing to hit resets with smaller windows, and I think that was something that plagued Germany's offense in our last game. You know, some throwers decided the window was too small, but at this level, against this type of defensive pressure, you need to be comfortable hitting your teammate in the chest when they're giving you a marginal option.
Check out the vertical stack down the middle. This is one of the options that the USD are going to do at the moment. They're just trying to contain the French. Here they come. Kosher at the moment in control. Ing down the line, crossfield he goes. Team USA just building here. No rush by them. Colton goes crossfield. Here's Freechild again. Into Ing. Looking at that is put to the ground. Not what they wanted. France have got an opportunity. They'll love this, but they've got to convert these chances now. Here come the French. Midfield options. Going inside. Bonnet once again. The glue in this French team. Time is ticking. 10 seconds to get rid of that disc. Here they come. France again. Stenyanek. Bonnet. These two combining. Got to look at some options up forward. Got nothing at the moment. Freechild trying to interrupt the play.
Uncontested foul coming to Sasha Płaciszewski.
So again, France given a moment to reset. They come forward. Nothing super forward at the moment. They're just here in the midfield and they're toying with the US defensive side. So accomplished. Once again, coming across, Płaciszewski has options. Not many at the moment. USD all over them. Sikorsky again. Upfield, there's a bit of a hang up here, Robin.
Yep, it appears that there was another pick. I think the French offensive set starting to get a little impatient in their vertical stack. We saw a little bit of this yesterday against Colombia.
Here they come then, France trying to set. They've got two players at least in the end zone at the moment. They're looking, they're working very hard. Here is one of those inside options, but it's too high, it's too far, and it's out of there. Stangunek is just going to have to watch that disc fly over the end zone, Robin.
I mentioned this a little earlier, the wind is starting to pick up, and although for most of the field, it's not very noticeable, but when you get to the end of the field where the stadium is open, the end zones are quite swirly, and right as the disc was released, a gust, we could feel it through the stadium, popped the disc out of the range of Leo Stangunek.
So US have possession again after that French error. The French have got to minimize those unforced errors, and I tell you what, that is a really nice piece of work. Colton on the end of that, but I tell you, the French are lifting. Trope denied. Here come the French again. Up the line they come, releasing some of their big forwards, not available at the moment. France looking infield for options. They're working very hard, patient. USD once again pressing forward. Valet, midfield, stadium side they come. Bonnet, and here's another big park attempt inside, and that's good for France. Płaciszewski comes home with the goal.
And Elliot Bonet testing the Henry Ing matchup again. So in both of these deep shots, we've gotten to see Bonet just immediately fire as Henry Ing is looking back to find the disc. And because of that split-second delay, he's giving up a bit too much in the deep space towards the end zone. A little bit of buffer for someone like Sasha Płaciszewski. You can see he looks back, it's too late. Sasha Płaciszewski's already chasing that disc out on a platter meant just for him. that both of these shots, again, so bold to test Henry Ing, who is one of the most premier man-matching players on the defensive end in the world. I mean, in the United States, anyone who sees Henry Ing in the deep space, we're all holding on to the disc, dare not test him, but not the likes of Elliot Bonet. So bold, so confident.
So they pull one back, the French. So let's see whether Team USA can come up and score the point to take them to half-time. Bourneau here. Overcome a bit of a knee injury earlier on in the week. The strapping that she had on her leg yesterday is gone, so she must be in better shape today. Gives the hold to the disc. Down it comes here at the World Games 2025. It is semi-final number 2 after earlier on Canada 13 over Germany 9. Brownlee with a disc.
Yep, over there. So when it's time
Discussion.
violation, you reset from where it started.
Finney then is given the disc and will bring it back into play.
And then it gets touched.
US captain. You can see the anxiety in the US faces. Referee Hayes to Brownlee, and there's an error that the French want. There's an error that the French want. Robin, it's an opportunity for them late in this half.
There was a foul call. It looked like when Marquez Brownlee jumped, there was some contact that threw his body off center.
Okay.
Let's get another look at that. You can see when he jumps up, Gail Ancelon just kind of runs into his waist, and so the disc will stay with Marquez Brownlee.
Well, they breathe a sigh of relief, the US. They didn't want France to come up and even scores at this stage. So Brownlee with it, goes long, comes down here, inside. Boy's getting tough on the inside. Lindsley just holding on to his feet. Chastain is there, offering a little bit of security across that back line. Brownlee again. Chastain making some time, and there's the intercept. And that is what the French want now. Brilliant intercept by Olivier. Round the corner, Ancelon. It's one-on-one. France spill into the sideline.
And you can see there's a lot of body contact in that matchup between Royale and Grant Lindsley on that sideline. Royale trying superhero antics to try to touch the disc and get his foot down. He was so close to making that play, but there was quite a bit of body contact. Royale saying that the turnover will stand, retracting the call.
So once again, USA weather a French attack. Just waiting on a determination here about resumption of play.
There was a substitution for Carolyn Finney for Anna Thompson. I think I heard on the microphone that there was an equipment issue, could have been a cleat or something else that was faulty, and she needed to substitute off the field.
And Robin on cue, there she is. So Anna Thompson then. Brownlee.
Excellent reset defense by Lizone Bourneau, forcing that throw out to space. Great footwork.
So this time can the French get this advantage late in the half? And they do. France have done it. They've come back. And Robin, you're pretty happy about that play. Olivier on the end of it. France bring it 6-6.
Yeah, Olivier plays for my club team in France, Yaka. They're the defending women's national champions so many times in a row. But I just didn't want that excellent block, that great defense by Olivier 2 possessions ago to go to waste, to see her get rewarded after playing just incredible defense. beating Thompson to that back corner of the end zone, and the defensive line staying out, bringing it back to sixes. In European Ultimates, when the score is tied before halftime, we call that Galaxy Point, to differentiate from Universe Point at the end of the game. And so with the score being 6-6 tied, this point is for half.
So it's all to play for. So France would just try to get a little bit of a wriggle on. They've done it. They've thwarted that American dynamic, and they've just been able to shift the momentum of this game a little bit their way. Let's see what they do. Here's Team USA now on offense, going long. This is big, coming through, interrupted, and at last Forget is there. There's been a couple of times today when she didn't do the interrupt, but now she's done it. She's spoiled the American opportunity. France are happy.
And what I'll say, I said this about the matchup with Marquez Brownlee, that as a defender, take aggressive risks early in the game to read the field and read your matchup. And I think we saw Froger just centimeters from making plays, and she was able to close in and make those adjustments because she gambled early.
And what a play here for France. They have an opportunity to go to the break in the lead if they score now.
Let's go, Henry! Hold this matchup, Henry!
You can hear the US team on the sidelines in our effects mic just screaming at the moment. They want to shut this French attack down. They want to have the ascendancy going into the break. France, Anselin, the talisman of this team, threatening to go long, doesn't. The USD, remember, the best in the world, up against this French side.
And that's so tough for Camille Blanc. She has to keep a foot in bounds in order to make a play at that disc. As a defender, Kayla Helton just needs to go make the play. She does not need to keep her foot in bounds, so she's able to go attack the disc out of bounds, preventing Camille Blanc from making that incredible catch.
Here's Freechild then, looking for options. US want to finish this off nicely here. They want to go the 1-goal lead into the half. Freechild, Hayes, closely attended to by French defense. They're spreading, there's options deep if they want to go there. Helton is out the back if they want to go. Helton is absolutely roving around that end zone. US just sitting on it at the moment. Options, in goes in. They come back out. Freechild looking for options. There's 4 of them in there in the States at the moment. That looks good. That'll do it. Hayes is on the end of it. USA get the goal. They go to the break. They lead 7-6.
Wow, France putting on so much pressure. I think, again, where we see one team ready to make that defensive play, the other team just ready to step up. We get another view. Camille Blanc has to stay in bounds. Kayla Helton attacking the disc. And a tasty scooper from Dylan Freechild to find Rafi Hayes on the break side cone. What a way to take half. This game surely is delivering for everyone watching.
It sure is. It's semi-final time. This is the second of the 2 semis here at the World Games 2025 Chengdu. Having the time of our lives up here with Robin, enjoying what is an absolutely magnificent semi-final. As we go to the break, you can see it's Team USA. They're up 7-6, but they've got a French team that's pretty rampant, and they're pretty lucky to have that 1-goal lead. The World Games 2025 here in Chengdu. We'll take a break alongside of the teams, and we'll be back for what will be an absolutely riveting second half to decide who goes through to the gold medal showdown against Canada tomorrow.
运动线气象满天，现场的观众朋友们，让我们听到你们的尖叫声！以及让我们看向场边的大屏幕，参与到我们的互动当中。再一次让我听到你们的尖叫声！我们即将进行一个非常有趣的环节，是我们成都市运会官方主题曲《女比赛》的互动小彩蛋。OK， 镜头给到我们的工作人员，让他们会带来什么样的动作？高举双手比出一个 W。现在请全场的观众跟他们一起高举双手。OK， 保持，我们一起举起双手。我们可以跟身边的小伙伴一起握手，共同完成一个单人的手势。全场的观众举起你们的双手。在举双手的同时，我们喊成都收起，成都，成都，成都。OK， 谢谢我们所有的观众。现在进入中场问答时刻，我们将在看台上抽取5名幸运观众，有5个礼品。让我们抽取第1位幸运观众。OK， 屏幕中间这位戴着牛仔帽子的男士，对，是你，没错，请起立，看向我们场边的大屏幕。第1道题，蜀绣出警制造技艺被列为第1批国家级非物质文化遗产名录，是否正确 ？A 选项正确 ，B 选项错误。OK， 选择 A 选项，我们来看正确答案。恭喜你回答正确。我们还有4个问题。好，题目在这里女士，来到这位女士。OK。
World Games 2025 Chengdu, and I tell you what, mixed ultimate flying disc is really turning it on. This is semi-final number 2, and as you can say, or as you can see, I should say, USA, the defending champs, up 7, France 6. They got a break. France were looking good late in that first half after the USA got the jump early, but boy oh boy, are we in for a fantastic second half here. Sun's going down in this magnificent city here in Chengdu. It's a beautiful warm evening. The showers that bothered us around about noon are long gone, and this beautiful evening dappled light now, I'm sure, going to be beholden to what should be a wonderful spectacle. Ultimate at this level, Robin, is really something.
And we've seen a lot of high-flying bids to try to get blocks. We've seen incredible catches, visionary throws. This first half is left for nothing. I've been so impressed with the fearlessness with which Elliot Bonet has been attacking the deep space, even against Henry Ng, who's quite a standout defender. Offensively, the United States has had some really nice possessions, and then a few that have left folks, I think, scratching their heads. You know, we've seen those flashes of brilliance from the United States, and then, you know, France, they're getting opportunities. We need to see France punish the United States for some of these turnovers in this half if they want to come back. Unfortunately, the United States, with that hold for half to go up 7-6, they get to start on offense after that score, so they have the opportunity to go up by 2. France has its work set for them this next half. They're going to have to get some breaks on defense. That means they have to be willing to reset the disc more in transition after they get their opportunities.
World Games 2025 Chengdu Mixed Ultimate Flying Disc. It's semi-final action time. If you're just joining us for the first time, it was Canada in the first semi-final, 13 over Germany 9. So the Canadians sitting back, probably watching these images, maybe up in the stadium high above us here, enjoying this battle royale out here on this magnificent sports stadium here at the Chengdu University. An absolutely fabulous facility, and as you can see, the lovely light just beginning to drop down across the horizon. There's the USA coach. I wonder what the chat has been at half-time. All importantly, of course, Team USA are leading after the break. They're up 7-6. France have got a lot of work to do. They're going to have to try and wrest momentum. They had that momentum late in that first half. Here's their opportunity then.
Right, and if you're the United States coaches, you kind of heard them yelling. I think you could hear Miranda Roth on the sideline reminding her team to be patient. Right, as Dylan Freechild threw that over-the-top throw to Rafi Hayes for the score to take half. But again, they just have to clean up their resets.
In the background, the roar of the French team calling their team forward. They want this disc off this American offensive side. Ing has it for USA at the moment. They're going long. Oh, that was a good grab. Rafi Hayes there, he's done that before. And once again, as she has as well already in this competition. Helton, Kayla Helton has done it again. They've got an early break, and boy, Robin, that consolidates. Maybe a slight momentum shift to them now.
Again, it's going to be interesting to see how France can respond, but Kayla Helton was part of that U.S. team that lost to France in the semifinal. Again, Camille Blanc going for one of her signature layout blocks. You can see how high she gets, but she's maybe one step too far away. Helton did a great job of opening up a lot of space for that throw. She made a good adjustment so that she could attack the disc before Camille Blanc could make any sort of play at that disc.
Yeah, she's a real speed machine, that Kayla Helton. Once you get her up there in that end zone, you could see that the long huck was on, and she was absolutely solid underneath it in the end. Okay, Brownlee's got the disc now. Team USA, they've got that first goal of the second half. They lead 8-6. Brownlee into play. France to come back. They need to convert this opportunity. Here come France. Midfield again. Slowly they do it. Got to be sure of these passes. Roulet looking for options. Team USA, this D side from USA. Brownlee harassing. This is a little, well, they got away with it. Got a couple of players, and they've come back. They've called play back, Robin.
And so Anna Thompson called a stall violation. She thinks that she said stalling 10. Yep. Again, the player can only hold the disc for 10 seconds.
Okay.
And Salome Roulet thinks she got it off in time.
Did you have no chance to call it earlier? Is that what you're saying? The fast count? Okay.
Calling it on like 10. I think
okay.
Asking for a interpreter to come out. And the French captain will do that.
She's calling it at 10. Yes. So, like, to me, that's saying, like, I'm getting to the stall, and then she's deciding if it's a fast count, which seems like a little bit late in the count to assess that fast count, and I think I said the full 10 seconds.
I'm just going to ask her if she thinks it's a fast count towards the end of the stall, or if it's a fast count all the way.
And I think it's tough because, you know, I think like the American team, it's easy to forget that this game is officiated in English. For most folks in the U.S., it is their native language, and all of these international teams are being asked to learn a second language to be able to officiate.
And we've run out of time at this point. Yeah, is that?
So it's coming in on?
It's coming in on 8.
So as you can see, a player has 10 seconds to get rid of that disc. So with 2 seconds to go, they've done that. This American defensive team is all over the French at the moment. This is a critical play here. France have got to progress this disc. They've got to get it over the advantage line. They've got to bring it upfield, and they've got to do it quick. USD is the best in the world. That'll do it for the moment. Bonnet finds himself a little bit of space. Going long here, real long. And again, a little bit speculative.
Elliot Bonnet needed to flatten out the disc. It came out with too much edge and died, not allowing Stangonek to get underneath it.
Lindsley then has the disc. Looking inside to Henry Ing. Goes long again. This is going to be big. Marco Ling is there, and the big hand goes out and clutches the disc down. Team USA have found something extra after halftime. It's now 9-6, Robin.
The pole coverage from the Americans stifled the French offensive attack, and it was really tough for France to get their offensive momentum. That turnover, you know, again, when the United States is able to turn mistakes into fast-paced transition offense, it puts the French defenders out of the primary position to make plays. I appreciate that Elliot Bonnet, he went up aggressively and kind of pulled back, knowing that there was no safe play at that disc. What a great throw from Grant Lindsley, who's been doing a really great job with his deep throws, putting really nice shape and pace on them so that only his teammates can make the play all week.
Incredible. And just compare that as well to the rather desperate lunge by the French in the opposite play just moments earlier. It just shows the poise that this US team has got. So Kayla Houghton, who's been under the disc on a couple of occasions for some super US goals today, gets things underway. France have really got to move it now. It's 9-6. This is desperate, and once again, it's just a little too far. They're overplaying it, the French. Bourneau just could not get there, and with Ing, she would have heard the footfall of the mighty American in her ears. And boy, oh boy, the frustration, I'm sure now. Struth, that's pretty amazing.
And I really think that was within her range to make a play to dive and grab for that disc. I do think she heard Henry Ing coming behind her, and the size disparity between the two, if you're Lizanne Bourneau, you don't want to put yourself in a compromising position to get hurt.
So Team USA come away after that turnover. Can they convert and put another stake into this game for themselves? The defending champs are beginning to show championship skills and talent, and with skills like that, you can get away with things. Free Child, good enough to haul that one in. Up to Rafi Hayes now. Options up forward. Looking good. Round the corner, Houghton looking inside. Free Child got 4 inside the end zone if he wants it. Free Child now. Round the corner, thank you very much indeed. Kayla Houghton again. How many is that for her, Robin?
That is Kayla Houghton's 3rd goal of the day. She's been timing her continuation cuts for scores so effectively. You can see as the disc swings over to Carolyn Finney, she's able to quickly find her grip. Her forehand, especially to break the mark, is just, it's lethal. She's got the fastest flick throw in the game. Kayla Houghton just completely unguarded. Again, that was the break side. It's really tough because Salome Roulet is trusting that her teammate is not going to let that break side swing off. She was trying to take away an upline cut from Finney. Finney catches the disc and can just quickly laser it in, only so that Kayla Houghton can score.
Wonderful. So you can see in conversation at the moment, the French team, they've gathered around, they're in the center of this magnificent Chengdu Sports Stadium, and there's the man of the moment. A lot resting on his shoulders there. Ancelin, the number 7, their captain. He has to lift this team now. They're trailing by 4. And on this beautiful evening here in Chengdu, with Germany already through to the finals, excuse me, Canada already through to the finals tomorrow after that 13 win over Germany. This team are going to have to do something very, very quickly. They're taking a moment out here rather than going to the drinks break, Robin.
Right, I do think with the sun going down, you can see more shadows on the field as it's behind the stadium right now. I think it's really a mental, you know, kind of cue that they're on the field, they feel the field. You can see that they're very passionate, very fiery, but I love to see the body language in that huddle. Again, France can't get overwhelmed by this 4-point deficit. You can't score more than 1 point at a time, so that's how they need to take this game.
Just hearing some universal sound coming in off one of our microphones, but nothing more.
Yeah, and it sounded like one of the French coaches said we made a mistake. I think they just got the gender match ratio incorrect and may have to recall a line. So in mixed ultimate at the World Games, that you'll notice that with 7 players and in both man matching and woman matching players, if you've never played or watched mixed ultimate before, the gender ratio switches every 2 points. So you'll notice that there are some points that have 4 women matching players and others that have 4 man matching players. And so the gender ratio will switch 3-4, 4-3 every 2 points. And that's to, you know, ensure kind of like an equal rotation. The other thing that's cool about mixed ultimate is that with the 4, whichever gender match has 4 players on the line, they are the ones who are pulling. So you'll see some points featuring women matching players releasing the pull to begin the point, and then those opposite 2 points with man matching players releasing the pull to begin the point.
Well, there's a couple of smiles on the coaching staff of Team USA as well. There might be. It's a little more grim underneath the caps of the French coaching staff. Interesting that they gave up the opportunity. They've taken bottles out to that huddle in the middle. They didn't get in the marquee. They stayed out there. Anselin gathered them around to give them that chat. Coaching staff came out to join him as well. Meantime, the US team had been inside, hydrating in their marquee. France decided to stay out there. Let's see whether that works, Robin.
Again, I mean, they did huddle in the shade. I don't think there's a big temperature difference right now at this point. I think this is actually, the humidity feels higher. The heat maybe feels a little bit lower than the last several days for the match at this round. The other thing is we are playing this match later than the other days of play, so I do think that does have an impact. The decision to do the hydration breaks is made before the game, and they set that so teams can plan.
Here they come then. Anselin lays it off. France with the attacking options. They're coming forward, and once again this mighty American defensive side is going to try and thwart them. Bonnet has been tireless all evening here. Anselin now stepping up, getting into the picture as well. Robin, another halt.
It's really interesting. I'm not seeing any players making any hand signals, so I don't even know what the call is.
Are you good where you're standing? Okay, then wait for me to be gone, then you're good.
Valet then will continue. Looking for options. The swarming defense, so little for the French to go to. Apart from something like this, it's a bit of a Hail Mary, and up they go, and boy, it's a ricochet. Olivier is underneath it. The pack flew. They flew. Struth. You can't coach that sort of stuff, as the great Willie Losse used to say. And underneath it was Claire Olivier, and boy, what a goal.
Well, that's an interesting decision by Chloe Valet, because she didn't have anybody close enough to establish a stall count. So she didn't have to make that throw. You see the disc deflecting. You know, you said you can't teach that, but actually in Ultimate, it's something that we explicitly practice. You'll see that Olivier is getting in the mix. She's waiting for a deflection. Claire Trope, too, just at a different angle. They're waiting for a disc to get deflected so that they can complete the play. Chloe Olivier just on the winning side there where the disc gets deflected, and she gets to make a pretty easy catch, that clap catch to secure the goal.
So France then alive. In Australia, we have the full forwards that go high for the marks and Aussie rules, and the rovers underneath. And in that case, Olivia playing the role of the rover, picking up the breadcrumbs after the big boys fly. Here comes Team USA. It's 10-7. Oh, and that's a fumble. So unusual for Hayes to put that down. Is this the turning point for France? Anselin, the captain, looking for options. He's got 5 players in the zone at the moment. He goes around, and there it is. France come away, the crowd roar, but there's a stoppage. They've been called back. France, no, it's been given.
Yes, the pick that occurred happened away from the scoring attempt there, so the United States retracted the call because it didn't impact. Again, what a bold shot to catch Dylan Freechild face guarding Bonet. Bonet just immediately turns and finds an unguarded Camille Blanc in the end zone. That point illustrates how important those short field turnovers are. That drop by Rafi Hayes turned into immediate fast break offense for France. And they showed some patience. And again, it feels different. This 2-point game, France with some momentum here. They're not going quietly, Brendan.
Well, Rafi Hayes, it's so unusual. He's Mr. Reliable, isn't he? I mean, that he dropped it cold like that, really, he'll be absolutely furious with himself. But anyway, it's 10-8. France have scored, so they'll put the disc back into play. Here comes the US offense. They really want this one now. If France could get this and break back, this would be tremendous for their prospects and set up an extraordinary finale over the last 10-15 minutes of this game. Hayes trying to make amends for what happened earlier on. Inside, Brownlee accepts the disc. And down, that's very ambitious, even too ambitious for Trope. So the Americans have given it away. Trope a little exasperated, Robin. She looked a little frustrated.
Yeah, she had separation deep from Camille Blanc earlier in the cut. I think she might be frustrated that the disc didn't come earlier. That disc, because Claire Trope was so far in the end zone, it had to be placed towards the side, which meant she had to travel twice as far in the cut versus a scoring option she presented almost immediately. She had Camille Blanc on her heels, and it could have been an easy score.
So is this the revival that the French have so desperately played for? We saw one midway through the first stanza, the first half. Here we are, midpoint, late into the second half. Anselin is on the field, and I think he might be the guy that's just guiding them, settling the French team down. Bonnet nicely around the corner. Here is Anselin, Brownlee in his face. This looks good again! Anselin sets it up! Wow! Here comes France and Olivia again on the end of a goal, Robin.
Yeah, and I think in the replay you're going to be able to see that upline cut from Gail Anselin. He gets low, he gets wide, and he makes it so Marquez Brownlee cannot bid around him. Great footwork. And Chloe Olivier has been in the driver's seat of every single one of her matchups. You can see that give go. She creates that little cutting lane, and she's able to just beat Claire Chastain with foot speed. And again, no poaching defenders from the American side because, again, France, when they are patient in their end zone set, there's so much space to work in isolation, and Chloe Olivier gets to take advantage.
I tell you what, Robin, I reckon we've got the semi-final that we wanted here. France are closing in on Team USA. Team USA lead 10-9. But boy, this is getting intriguing. Just a slight turn in momentum. Maybe the USA getting a little bit too ahead of themselves. Let's see what they do here. A nice quick goal. Ing is lurking, being called in by Freechild. He doesn't want him up there at the moment. He was going wild. Helton is going long as well. Way upfield if they want it. Around the corner. Groom is there, and that's a fumble. Helton puts it down, so reliable. Here comes France. Forget now inside, going to set themselves. There's a long run. That's nice. Just Bonnet under control. Around they come. France finding time now, seemingly opening up a few holes. France moving. Stenuette. Forget holds out the despairing Freechild. Pressing the US over the top. Forget looking for options. Comes across to the stadium side. Down the field is the threat. Doesn't go there. Bonnet inside. Forget again. Nicely done. Over the far side, it's France. There's an interrupt. And there's the spill. They didn't want that. A little impetuous. USA have it again, and they'll break fast, I tell you. They are breaking fast already, and here is the fast break. Who's underneath it? Team USA is underneath it. And over they go, and that is just a mismatch in terms of size and height. And drags it down, does Henry Ing.
If you're the French team, to not capitalize on that turnover, you know, if we get to see that again, you know, I wish we could have saw that really nice toe of the side of the sideline there by Dawn Colton. I think she was honestly one of the first U.S. players to really make it her signature to have the best footwork on these really challenging sideline grabs. She just barely gets that toe inside the line and just immediately attacks high to Henry Ing so that Lizanne Bourneau has no chance at the disc.
So Team USA put the brush fire out for the moment. They put the margin back to 2.
And I think right now the American offense is a little sloppy with how they're clearing. Kayla Helton had to make kind of a weird layout to try to catch the disc when Rafi Hayes was clearing into her space, and she wasn't able to make that optimal angle to try to get the catch.
Well, here comes the offensive team from France. Valet in possession. Little pop pass over the top. Valet again. This offensive team, France up against the best defensive team in the world without a doubt. But they're breaking them down, and they've got to break them down a couple of times more to even the scores. Over the top, France brave. Blanc has got the disc. Across field again. Bevenier, what's he doing? Bonnet looking like he's making some moves up front. Comes back to accept the disc. Brownlee absolutely wearing him at the moment. Inside, he's got to move. Brownlee absolutely swiping at disc. That's good. Wonderful pass from Bonnet. Skills plus. Sensational stuff. Here comes France. They got 4 up in the end zone. There they are. Bonnet is too high. Koloski too high for him.
Michael Ing attacked the disc, and it forced Sasha Płatkowski to attack the disc. If he would have stayed where he was, he would risk Michael Ing trying to intercept that pass, so it forced him to come in, and as a result, the disc popped right over him. I think the France offense got a little too cheeky with those lefty backhands over their marks.
So the best defensive team in World Ultimate at the moment holds its own. Here they come. Inevitably, they come downfield, but happy at the moment just to give and take here. Chastain, Kosher, Ing, Brownlee distributing the workload. Team USA want to turn this around. They want to get this done. Chastain inside. Kosher looking for action. Brownlee's going for a run, going for a big run and a big leap and a big goal. And you have to admire this team, Robin.
Yeah, and I like that trust throw up to Marquez Brownlee. He's such an effective receiver. Chris Kocher putting the disc up high. And because Marquez Brownlee has steps on Sasha Płatzakolski, he's able to establish position first. You see Płatzakolski try to go around him to try to make a play because, again, Marquez Brownlee had the opportunity to establish position first. And Marquez has the height advantage. Płatzakolski makes a pretty good attempt, but he's just, it's tough when you're out of position like that.
Yeah, they had that one well sorted, didn't they? Would that have been pre-planned, or was that just fortuitous in the circumstances?
Yeah, that would have just happened, I think, in the flow of offense. I think when if you're Marquez Brownlee, you have the height advantage at this point. They've gotten to feel that, you know, the matchup. Honestly, with Marquez Brownlee playing against Team France in 2023 on the beach, he understands the athletic, you know, strengths and weaknesses of his opponent and knew that he could kind of take Płatzakolski to the deep space.
France then holding on, only just. They've got to come down well inside. Anselin trying to make something magic happen here. Being worn at the moment by Lindsley. Anselin again. Lindsley going to get up in his face. And Anselin's got a word to say about it. But further down the field, I think, Robin.
Just another pick again. The cutters are kind of attacking through that vertical stack, creating opportunities for those defenders to get obstructed with other players, which is not allowed in Ultimate.
It's 12-9. It's only one goal away from a US victory here. France have got to do something, and they can't do that. So here comes Team USA. I'll tell you what, Dylan Freechild on the end of that. Oh, it's good. Just held in play by Ing. Options inside. Helton is making himself available if he wants to go there. It was telegraphed. And France with a fabulous play by the captain. Knocks it to the floor. Anselin lifting and trying to lift his team here. The captain with a fabulous play.
Yeah, and like you said, I think it was pretty telegraphed. Kayla Helton was wide open, and he rolled off to make that help block.
Round the corner. This is desperate for France. They have got to hold on here. Anselin again. What can he do for his team? He's been there so often. He is a stalwart of this side. Ing in his face. His team scattered downfield. He sees the scoreboard. He knows the Americans are just one goal away from putting this away. He would prefer the gold medal. He doesn't want to meet Germany in the bronze tomorrow. They want to get through and face Canada. Here they come. Ruel inside. Forget offers an option. Goes long. Forget, it's too long. And is that the spinning, rolling disc with the forlorn hopes of France written all over it? Chastain in our effects microphone, Robin.
And you can see the frustration on Zoe Forget's face. That disc was uncatchable for her. You have to at least give her a chance.
Here comes Team USA trying to seal it off here. They convert here. They're going through to a gold medal match. They bring out the heavy hitters. Here comes Team USA. Coulton across to Lindsay. Freechild is there as well. Three of them up in the end zone at the moment. Who's going to seal? Who's going to deliver the coup de grace to France? Helton around the corner. And is it appropriate that this man clutches the disc? It is. Of course it is. It's none other than the great Ing himself. Smashes it into the turf, and with that emphatic gesture, USA through to the gold medal.
And honestly, I think it's very fitting for Kayla Helton to drive that final coffin nail in the French dreams of a gold medal, because the last time Kayla Helton took the field against Team France in the mixed division at the World Beach Ultimate Championships, it was France that came out on top despite her heroics in that game. She was really a standout offensive performance for Team USA in that game, but they still fell short. So for here, in this moment, for her to get to throw that game-winning assist, That was her second assist of the game to complement her 3 goals and a block. She had an incredibly efficient and clean game. It was really great to see her take control of that. Wow, what a game.
What a game. And of course, the upshot of that is it's a USA victory. It's 13-9 over France. In the earlier showdown, it was Canada by a similar margin, 13-9 over Germany. So it's going to be an all-European bronze medal affair tomorrow, Robin.
Yeah, and I think the European ultimate community is delighted that they are guaranteed a medal at the World Games. I think, you know, last cycle it was a surprise, you know, to get Germany the opportunity to compete for the medal by winning their pool. They ultimately lost in semis and then lost the bronze medal match. So Europe will be guaranteed a medal, I think, for the first time in a long time at the World Games. You can see that France is destroyed over the outcome of that game. They had so many opportunities. In the second half, it really was a game of runs. The U.S. came out punching with 2 breaks, and then, you know, the French answered back with 2 breaks of their own to bring it within 1 to 10-9, 11-9 U.S., and then the U.S. broke twice for the victory.
Incredible. So Team USA celebrate, and as Robin says, scattered across this beautiful stadium field, a number of the French players, they're down on the tarmac, they're down on the grass, they hug and console each other, they clap forlornly, the crowd, and there's one of their players, Roble, consoling some of the team members. He, of course, with that ACL, could take no part, but a number of the players, Bonnet comes out as well, singly and in duos, they come out to console one another. Meantime, Team USA in imperious form here. They're through to the gold medal showdown with Germany. They win 13-9. So tomorrow then, it's going to be a North American affair at the World Games 2025 Chengdu Mixed Ultimate Flying Disc. And I tell you what, if these 2 semi-finals haven't proved testament that they should be involved in the Olympic Games, then I tell you what, I'm going to have to eat my hat pretty soon, Robin.
You know, this game is so exciting, you know, to see how much athleticism it takes to compete at this level. It's truly astonishing. I think it takes the best of so many other sports and combines them into one. I love this game with my entire being, and to be here at the World Games this year is such a gift to see these matches being played in person, live. I can't think of a more exciting game that could be played. I'm always hopeful that